Clerk, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we all good? You got it. Okay, we're live. Okay, we'll call this Village of Derosa Council meeting to order. And I'll start off first by just letting everyone out there in Zoom land know where our councilors are at. Here in the chambers with me is Councilor Cornelius. We have our village manager, Tim Dodge, village clerk, Irma Devine, and then we have our IT tech support, which he's becoming more important every day, Jeffrey Farguson. In the manager's office in the back, we have Councilor Coughlin, Councilor Lutterman, and Deputy Manager Ron Sena. In the Capital Projects office, we have Councilor Jackson, Councilor Eby, and Village Attorney Zach Cook. And through Zoom, we have Councilor Salas and various department directors. So at this point, we'll go through the invocation. And Rafael Salas, are you on? Well, I'll do it. And then we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll salute the flag. So if you'll stand with me, have a moment of silence. Our dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you would bless our decisions today, Lord. Grant peace and safety in our country. Bring people back to reason and to follow you. And we love you and thank you for all. In your Son's precious name, amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag, state of New Mexico, as the symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures. All right. And again, as always, we hope to soon get together again so we can get through all this Zoom nonsense. We got a lengthy agenda today, so we're going to get moving pretty quick. I'd like a roll call, please, Mrs. Devine.
Yes, sir. Mayor Crawford.
Here.
Councilor Jackson.
Here.
Councilor Cornelius.
Here.
Councilor Coughlin.
Here.
Councilor Salas. Councilor Salas. Councilor Lutterman.
Here.
Councilor Eby.
You call him.
Here.
Is that it? Okay, we're trying to contact Rafael right now. At this time, I'd like approval of today's agenda, please.
Hey, Councilor, you able to get on?
Mayor, I move we approve the agenda presented.
Okay, I have a motion.
I'm gonna put you on speaker, okay?
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, that was Councilor Lutterman.
Mayor, would you have Councilor Salas here?
Okay, and we have Councilor Salas via telephone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rafael.
Thank you.
Okay, you have a motion. Second roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Councilor Cornelius.
Aye.
Councilor Lutterman.
Aye.
Councilor Eby.
Aye.
Councilor
Here.
Salas.
Here.
Councilor Coughlin.
Aye.
Councilor Jackson.
Aye.
Okay, Rafael, we were having a motion on approval of today's agenda. That's what that was.
Okay, then aye.
Aye, you got it. Okay. Okay, on our consent regular items, we have quite a few. I'll read them off quickly. Man, if I can get the right glasses in here. Okay, we have number one, approval of governing body minutes, April 28th,
Good, how are you?
2020. We're gonna need to mute somebody. I don't know who that was. Joshua Long. Special meeting, May 5th, 2020. Workshop meeting, May 5th, 2020. Special meeting, May 8th, 2020. Special meeting, May 12th, 2020. Special regular meeting, and May 20th, 2020 special meeting. A lot of meetings. Number 2, ratification of adoption of resolution 2020-22, resolution approving a grant offer from the Federal Aviation, FAA, and authorization to accept the resulting CARES Act grant offer and authorizing Mayor Lindy Crawford authority to execute and sign grant agreement and serve as the sponsor's authorized representative. Number 3, ratification of agreement by and between the Village of Ruidoso, a New Mexico Municipal Corporation known as Buyer, and CIC Limited, Inc., a Texas corporation seller. Number 4, ratification of assignment of lease agreement between the Costaris Family Trust and Bobby Pennell for land lease for hangar P-14 with the Village of Ruidoso at Sierra Blanca Regional Airport. Number 5, adoption of resolution 2020-23, a resolution establishing fees for use of parks and recreation facilities and for services associated with the Parks Department. Number 6 is approval of agreement between the Village of Ruidoso and the Humane Society of Lincoln County for the operation of the animal shelter. Number 7, approval of agreement with Lincoln County Adult Literacy Program, a New Mexico nonprofit corporation, to provide office space and other logistical support to the adult literacy program in Lincoln County. Number 8, approval of agreement with Data Pros LLC, IFB number 2020-009B for automated statement processing for the Village of Ruidoso. Number 9, approval of Ruidoso stewardship agreement with the National Forest Foundation for fiscal year 2020 to allow customers to make voluntary contributions to support projects implemented on the Lincoln National Forest and adjacent public lands. Number 10, acknowledgement of continuance on agreement with Host Compliance LLC for the electronic web-based collection of lodgers tax software. Number 11, approval of joint funding agreement number 20 RGJFA 23 with the United States Department of Interior, United States Geological Survey for the operation of the USGS streamflow and precipitation gauges. Number 12, approval of joint funding agreement number 20 RGJFA 35 with the United States Department of Interior, Geological Survey USGS for project titled Periodic Surveys of North Fork Eagle Creek. The North Fork Eagle Creek stream gauge number 0838-7550 to Eagle Creek below, South Fork stream gauge 08376387-600. Number 13, approval of memorandum of understanding between the Village of Ruidoso as fiscal agent for the Lincoln County Ruidoso DWI program and Linda Hand for prevention specialist services for the DWI prevention program. Number 14, approval of memorandum of understanding between the Village of Ruidoso as fiscal agent for the Lincoln County Ruidoso DWI region program in Region 9 for a part-time preventionist. Number 15, approval of first renewal agreement with Ye and Associates, Inc. for professional engineering services for dam improvements, compliance, and planning projects for the Grindstone and Alto Lake dams. Number 16, approval of second renewal agreement with EcoServants, Inc. For fiscal year 2021 for professional services for community partnership improvement projects and services in the amount of $12,400, including gross receipts tax. Number 17, approval of third renewal agreement with John Shoemaker and Associates, Inc. for professional on-call hydrological services for the utility department and task orders RFP number 2018-001P-21, RFP number 2018-001P-22, and RFP number 2018-001P-23 in the amount not to exceed $49,000, $21,000, and $50,000 respectively, including gross receipts tax. Number 18, approval of third renewal agreement with Henninghausen and Olson LLP for professional water right attorney services, task order RFP number 2018-001 002P-06 in an amount not to exceed $80,000 and no cents, including gross receipts tax. Number 19, approval of fourth renewal land lease agreement with Richard Smith for land lease at the Sierra Blanca Regional Airport. Number 20, approval of final change order number 1 and final completion with Endamo Sanchez Excavating and Trucking, Inc. for the Grindstone Canyon Wetlands Project. Number 21, approval of task order number 2019-002P-04 with Bohannon Houston, Inc. for the design of trail rehabilitation of the Lynx walking path in an amount not to exceed $100,000, including gross receipts tax. Number 22, award of RFP number 2020-008P to Hanson Consulting as the most responsive and qualified firm for the DWI Grant Program Coordinator for the Village of Ruidoso, Lincoln County. Number 23 is approval of agreement with Hanson Consulting, RFP number 2020-008P for DWI Grant Program Coordinator for the Village of Ruidoso, Lincoln County. Anybody have any comments? Need a motion?
Mayor, I'll move that we accept the items as presented.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Eby, second.
Okay, that was Eby. Okay, is there any other discussion? Okay, being none there, we'll have a roll call, please, ma'am.
Counselor Cornelius,
Aye.
Counselor Eby,
Aye.
Counselor Letterman,
Aye.
Counselor Salas,
Aye.
Counselor Coughlin,
Aye.
Counselor Jackson.
Aye.
Okay, next is the public input portion. It's limited up to the first hour of the meeting in compliance with the Attorney General's office mandate regarding the Open Meetings Act during COVID-19 state of emergency. The governing body will accept public input via email at irmadivine@ruidoso-nm.gov. Public comments will be distributed to governing body members for review. Ma'am, did we have any input? Did we have anybody send any emails in?
Mayor Crawford, members of the governing body, the clerk's office received no request in any form or communication asking to be participate during the public input portion of the agenda.
Okay, fair enough. All right, I know that's still odd, and again, soon I hope we're through this. All right, well, that will close out the public input portion of the program, and we will now move on to mayoral reports and presentations. And we have a presentation, and I know that Diane wanted to be here, but she's watching right now.
She's here.
She is here? Well, I thought she wasn't coming. Okay, we'll have her come on in.
It's Diane's staff.
Huh?
It's Diane's staff.
Oh, it's Diane's staff. I thought we were talking about Diane Stallings.
Yeah, first we're talking about Dan Stalling, and then she's on the employee committee.
Okay, so what am I doing?
Well, this one will be the next one, so.
Okay, well, I'll just skip. We were talking about Diane Stallings.
Oh, my bad.
So we're doing the safe members, right?
Yes, sir.
The recognition of Ruidoso safe team members as employees of the Department of the Quarter. Now, I wish everybody could see your faces that are out there, so you can turn around and look at the camera.
Where's the camera?
Right there behind you.
Right here.
Okay. Anyway, these are some of the folks that are giving so much time to the village downtown, handing out PPE on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, wearing a yellow t-shirt and doing an awesome job. I've gotten a lot of comments from people and from some state officials that have seen you guys doing it, that you've been very proactive and you've helped your community out tremendously. I know you've handed out thousands of these things, stuffing them and whatever. So we just wanted to recognize you guys, not only as employee of the quarter, but also as department of the quarter, and just some recognition for some of the work that you've done, because you didn't have to do it. It was going over and above. We really do appreciate it. So at this time, we're not going to be shaking any hands or doing any huggings like we usually do, but I wanted to present this to you. Okay, why don't you introduce yourself?
Roberto Lopez, Bobby Lopez.
Bobby Lopez. And then Diane, I want you to, and you go by several different names. I know.
Diane or Denise, they're
Or
both my
Denise, it
names.
depends. So anyway, I want to present you guys with these plaques and that we really appreciate everything that you've done. I mean, it was a lot of work. It still is a lot of work, and you guys have done a great job. So I want to show the appreciation from the village. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty.
Thank you, guys.
And now we'll go back to, we're having a presentation and a proclamation for a dear lady, a good friend to the village, one that's always been very proactive in getting the facts for the newspaper, and she has retired. And so we just wanted to show a little recognition to you, Diane Stallings, for all the hard work and the graciousness that you've always presented to the community and trying to get the accurate story. And I can just tell you personally, I really appreciate you, and I know past mayors have too. So I want to introduce this proclamation today. Whereas the community of Ruidoso, pardon me, and the Ruidoso News, we're so proud to have a veteran reporter and writer, Diane Stallings, in the newsroom covering many subject areas of interest to readers. And whereas Diane's wit, grace, and constant upbeat attitude have made her a loved member of the Ruidoso community and a valued professional and a journalist with the Ruidoso News for 29 years. And whereas Diane is originally from Moline, Illinois, and has 3 grown children, 11 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. And whereas Diane has been married to the same wonderful gentleman, Chuck Stallings, for 57 years. And whereas after Diane graduated from St. Catherine's Prep School, founded in Davenport, Iowa, in 1884, which for many years was considered one of the best college preparatory schools in the country, she obtained a degree in psychology from the University of Denver. And whereas in 1970, Diane began her career in journalism and was hired by the St. Petersburg Times in Florida. There, Diane was distinguished as a part of a team nominated in 1984 for the Pulitzer for a project called Poor Among Plenty, uncovering the generationally poor populations hidden by development along US 19 in Florida. And whereas, as a credit to Diane's incredibly high productivity, she was nicknamed Becky Sue 32 for submitting a record of 32 stories in one day. She was considered by her editors to be a top writer and journalist on staff in renowned newspaper. And whereas Diane retired in 1989 and moved to Ruidoso to improve her asthma, with her usual go-getter temperament, she became bored and decided to write a few features for the Ruidoso News in 1991. By August of that year, she became a full-time staff journalist with the Ruidoso News. And whereas in collaboration with her husband, they wrote the book Death in the Red Desert, a gripping story of a murder that occurred in Ruidoso in 1989. She is active in issues and causes for the humane treatment of animals, wildlife, and environmental protection, and is a longtime donor to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And whereas Diane is a remarkable woman who serves as mentor, warm friend, and an admirable role model to women. As an accomplished professional, caring wife, and mother, she embodies grace, intelligence, humor that has endured the decades, and is an example of a life well lived. Now, therefore, I, Lindy Crawford, Mayor of the Village of Ruidoso, New Mexico, do hereby proclaim the month of June 2020 as Diane Stallings Month, proclaimed this 9th day of June 2020 in Ruidoso, New Mexico. So we'll get this plaque to you, and then we also have a wonderful plaque. Diane Stallings, Distinguished Service Award from Ruidoso, the village. Thank you for your tireless dedication to reporting on news and events in the village of Ruidoso and Lincoln County, Your commitment to fair and truthful journalism is a statement to your stellar character, both personally and professionally. We will miss you, and we wish you all the best in your retirement, June 2020. So we'll be sure and get these to Diane. And in true Stallings fashion, she has sent me a little note for me to read on her behalf. And so I'll read it right now. But before we do, I had a longtime friend and Village of Ruidoso. This guy's done so much for the community, and he wanted me to share his sentiments. So he passed this along. It's from Frank Potter. And it just says, to Diane Stallings, in recognition, since I can't be there, Diane, I wish I could be there in person. So to let you know how much I appreciate the time we spent working together the last 30 plus years. Your outstanding service speaks for itself in all the numerous awards that you have won over the years. You're a valuable asset to this community, Frank Potter. So that's from Frank. And this is from Diane. It says, on June 9th, 2020, Mr. Mayor and councilors, thank you so much for this touching and thoughtful proclamation. Covering Lincoln County and Ruidoso has been a joy, not a job, over the past 29 years. Because I cannot attend this meeting and I knew I could never make it through without tears, I've asked the mayor to read this statement for me. Journalism was a rewarding and challenging career, but life requires many changes, and I am moving into a different phase of my life. Over my 45 years reporting first in Florida and then in Ruidoso, I learned to appreciate when I was able to deal with a professional, ethical, and competent administrative staff for the governing body I was covering at the time. Let me say that Village Clerk Armin Devine and Deputy Clerk Berta de los Santos epitomize that description. The village is fortunate to have them, as well as other department directors and village manager Tim Dodge, who never failed to cooperate with me on the story to ensure I had access to accurate information for the public. The past few years have been especially rewarding as I reported on this council and mayor and the advances they accomplished for Ruidoso, the new recreational opportunities, the improved financial position, the gains in water and sewer system service. The council again is fortunate to be working with professionals on staff in the truest sense of the word. My husband Charles and I have no plans to leave the village that we love so dearly. I hope to be able to donate my time and whatever talents I can offer to continuing efforts to improve the already wonderful quality of life here. Thank you, Diane Stallings. So thank you, Diane. And we still have some projects for her to work on the new history building over here. Okay, now then we just have the new employee for Ruidoso. And this is a gentleman that we are excited to have. And I think he's going to be here. There he is. What did I do with my mask? And we usually shake hands and everything at this point, Greg, but we're not going to do that. But if you'll just turn around over there. This is Greg Widener, yes. Widener. And he is going to be the new sound engineer and radio operator at 1490 KRUI, The Mountain, which is now owned by the Village of Ruidoso. So he will be our man there. So one day we'll get to see the face behind the mask and the man behind that. But we're tickled to have you. We're excited about this new adventure that we're all going to be going on. And it's going to be exciting. I know there'll be some issues coming up, but we look forward to working through them with you. So it's nice to meet you. And hopefully the other counselors will get to see you before long. And but it's exciting times. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, we're excited about the radio station. Okay, now then I just have one more thing. Is Rodney Griego there? He's got one report to give that I'm not sure I really want to hear.
Good afternoon, Mayor and village councilors. As much as it's not easy to talk to you all about the item that I wanted to bring up is that I am submitting my retirement request to the village of Derosa. And again, I'm very thankful for the opportunity that I've had with the village. The 28 years that I've worked here have been truly a great experience. I've personally gone through a lot with the village. There's great things coming up. I just have decided that I'm at a point in my life that I would like to commit more time to my family and to other adventures. So again, it's not an easy decision, but again, I've decided that I wanted to submit my retirement request.
Okay, well, we didn't want to hear that one, but I certainly understand it. You've been a huge asset and made so many accomplishments and projects and really stepped it up around here. And we appreciate all of your service. How long are you going to be with us? When is
I need to work that out with the HR department.
Okay.
I just, again, I've been thinking about it for a couple of months. I just spoke with the manager and the deputy manager yesterday. I've yet to work out the details with HR, but if I could work through my anniversary date, which is October 4th, I think that's what I would like to do.
Okay.
If the village would be willing to work with me to do that.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to miss you. So we'll have a little time between now and then, but you've been a huge asset and got so many things done quickly that I don't even know how you got them done, but you've always been able to motivate your department and it shows the leadership. So thank you, Rodney. And we'll be seeing you shortly. All right, next will be boards and commission appointments. We've started a new one that's going to be the Historical Ad-Hoc Committee that is going to be handling the Wingfield House project, just with the historical significance, the items that we want to place in there, and just having a lot of eyes on this to really get the feel for the community, because I think this will be a hallmark eventually of the village. But I've asked Frank and Elizabeth Potter to be on that. I've asked councilors Rafael Salas and Susan Lutterman and John Cornelius to be also serve on that. We also have Tracy Crawford, Timothy Dodge, and Ron Senna that will be serving on that board. And so it'll give us an idea of what we want this house to look like. We want to try to restore it some, but just do some improvements. And then we've got a lot of historical items, pictures, letters, all kinds of things that Frank Potter has been able to accumulate. And we have so many people in the village that are donating these items, are on loan items. So, but these are some folks that we're really expecting some direction out of. So that's another good thing. Okay, now we'll move on to the village manager report. Take it away, Tim.
Mayor, I'd just like to start off by saying, that we are going to miss Rodney. He's an excellent member of the management team, and his passion. It'd be nice to see every single employee have the passion that Rodney has for his job. But thank you, Rodney, for your service. Mayor, moving on the evaluations, our second round of quarterly evaluations have started. Last week, all the directors were evaluated. This week, the managers, the following week, the supervisors and the employees. So 100% of the directors have been completed at this time. So we're on track in accordance with the administrative reg, and they seem to be going pretty smoothly. The directors have expressed that they've actually liked the process, and it keeps us up to date on a frequent basis on how we're evaluating our staff.
Okay, good.
So I wanted to just let everybody know that, the grindstone, it was incredible. This past Saturday, I went by, and Ron and I ended up going out and working. We stayed out there till about 4 o'clock. It was just amazing the amount of vehicles that we had parked inside. I think we have 111 parking spaces between the top and bottom parking lot. And then right about an additional 150 vehicles that they're parking in the campground area. So, we had pretty close to, I would say, 260 or so. The amount of money that they're collecting on there, and then the vessels are also doing extremely well. I don't have the numbers. Maybe Rodney could give us a little bit of update on that here in a bit. But the Rio Doso Safe Team, it's just, that's another thing that we've been monitoring, Ron and I and Samantha. Over the weekend, they gave out 2,100 packages. And, Ron and I and Samantha and Lori came down and stuffed bags again on Sunday morning. And just they're just doing an awesome job. And, the governing bodies have participated 100%. Staff, all the administrative staff and directors and managers have actually volunteered as well. This week we'll have all the staff participating with Rio Doso Safe. Several of the directors have came out on weekends and helped out as well. We're going to have Lori come in and accept the award on behalf of the whole Rio Doso Safe team, because I have Samantha keeping a tally of who's actually participating, and I think Lori was the one employee that had put in more time than anybody else.
Okay.
Unfortunately, she wasn't feeling well today, so number 2 participation was Bobby and Diane. And not to discount that they've done an excellent job, and everybody's stepped up to help out with that. The projects we've been having are project update meetings every 2 weeks, Mayor. And one of the extensions that we're going to be requesting is on the master plan evaluation. And with the master plan evaluation, Todd is requesting a 60-day extension. Some of that's due to us getting information to them on the master plans and where we're at. But Karen is going to be giving us a demonstration on the dashboard. So Karen, are you ready to share your screen?
Yes, I am. I'm going to do that right now.
And as you recall, Mayor, I think Councilor Cornelius, EB, and yourself attended a meeting with me in Santa Fe, where Sauter Miller Associates gave us a demonstration.
Oh, yeah.
And now Karen can actually demonstrate where we're at. And this is a software that we're going to be making available. The governing body will have a certain access to, where they'll be able to go on and see a project and where it's at. They'll be able to, pull up the map, see where it's actually at, and then see where it's at contractually, whether it's under design, whether it's under construction. If it's under construction, you'll be able to see what percentage of construction it's under. You'll be able to see milestones and timelines. So we'll also have a certain level of control that the staff will have. And then the general public will be able to access on our website and be able to go on and view the status of projects as well. So Karen.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mayor, members of the council. You all see my screen here it's labeled Rio Doso ICIP dashboard. Is everybody seeing that?
Yes.
Good. Okay, first of all, that Rio Doso ICIP dashboard, we've been discussing different titles depending on different data base that we might keep. So that will probably be changing there, but all of this is work in progress. Sauter Miller has started this dashboard utilizing the ICIP projects that we have submitted. So this database that we're looking at right now in front of us only contains the ICIP information. So we are in the background working on the database for all of our projects, all of our that are going throughout the village, so that we feed and give Sauter Miller good data, and so that we can produce and, as they say, good data in, good data out. So we want to make sure, and that again is going to attribute to the extra time. We want to make sure that what we're giving to Sauter Miller is good information. So we'll start off here by the different titles up front, and you'll see that on the left-hand side, or on my left-hand side, I'm assuming that's yours too, the project details. When you click on a project on this project selector here, if you click on a project, it'll bring up all the project details. In the left-hand side, this one is titled the Alto Water Treatment Plant Upgrade, which is also known as Plant 3. This information that's in this field that I'm hovering over, it will be changing. There's some titles in here and some search titles that we're going to want to change and make it more user friendly. So, but that'll give you all the information. Once this whole database is complete, you'll have all that information in there. There's filters on top that we have that are either filtered by department or filtered by status. Some of this may change too, but for right now, I'm going to hover over the project. What we call these little bars in here are called, these little round pointer things are called a window expander. So I'm going to start with a map and I'm going to click on that and you can see it expands the window for the project. This little box up here is called a Selector Tool. And what that does is kind of neat. That if you click on that, and let's say I wanted to see, let me see if I'm in the right place here. I want to make sure that I'm giving you the right information here. This plant right here. You can actually select the tool like a rectangular, and then let's say you wanted to see all the projects, all the data in a certain area, it'll select that. I've got a new computer here and I'm trying to use my little selector guide here. So I select it, rectangular. And anyway, it'll bring up information in that area. Obviously, I didn't do a good job there. Let me get back out. Let's go to the senior citizens. Okay. So to get back out of the screen that I'm kind of messing up, you go back to that little window expander, and it'll take you. By selecting, it'll take you back out of that window screen. Once you select on the project, again, when I switched over to the senior center here, I want to be able to show you when you select the area with the selector tool, how it brings it up. It's not working. I know that Todd was on the line. He's going to actually be on the phone now. He was telling me that our GIS data people are actually updating GIS data points as we speak. It's a real-time data update, so it might be something that they're working on there. So if we go down here to the project selector and you open that up, and another feature I wanted to tell you is that once you select something one time, if you select it again, it takes it away. So here, if you select on the filter, and if I move all the way up to the top and select none, it brings up the entire database. Here to the left here, it'll tell you you have one of 70. So right now in this database, we have 70 projects under ICIP. And you can scroll through any of these to do look at like I had done earlier. We can look at the roundabout Ron's project here. It shows on the map where it's at. It shows by clicking on it, you can see it'll have the updated information as far as funding. That's going to be one of the items that we're going to be adding. So this pie chart down here will indicate the funding that project will be supported by. So once that project is updated in our database, then we'll have more information as far as you'll be able to click on the funding part. You'll be able to come down here to the costs and actually hover over it or click on it. It'll tell you that right now we have it estimated at 3.5 million. There's a lot of neat little tools that Todd has been bringing up, actually he's texting me right now, wanting to tell me to zoom out before using the selector tool. Okay, so he's telling me to zoom out. So anyway, we have if you look just a couple of projects down, we have the fiber broadband, and you'll see that it brings up the village area, 313 Cream Meadows right here. So if I selected on a, got the selector tool, and let's say I did a circle and say I wanted to find out what projects were at 313, I can open that up as big or as little as I wanted. And if now your project over here, the only selected thing we have right now is the broadband. Pretty soon we'll have the expansion of Village Hall on there, like I said, as we start adding more database information to this. But it's a really, really neat tool. We'll be able to not only have at your fingertips the information on projects, but we're planning to put in there the operational stuff. For instance, Adam's always doing sewer line extensions. So you'll be able to have a filter to say operations projects and pull up all operation projects and select it by department. So you can see what's going on in water production, water distribution, in small projects that are being done at Parks and Rec. In this case here, we got the community center with the roofing, or I'm sorry, we're back on Village Hall. We have the broadband. But utilizing these features up here, by filtering, you can ask for any project that's, you go to administration right now. This is not changing on me. Oh, because I have it selected. You can't have something selected. One of the things we had, I noticed, is you can't have something selected. So administration, that's all we have there. If I were to go down to Parks and Recs, I'm sure you'll have a lot. You'll see all the projects listed. And again, right here, it's showing 9 projects in the ICIP database. Of course, Rodney has much more. Once we get all the data put together from capital projects and stuff, you'll be able to see all the projects under Parks and Rec. And again, you'll see down here where he has projects that are also funded by DOT grants. It's very user friendly. You can click on anything that's highlighted, and it'll take you to and give you that information. Is there anything that you guys have questions on that you would like me to answer? As far as this is, like I said, it's a work in progress. There's a lot more to be added to this.
Just when will it be available for the counselors to get into it, have access to it?
We, like I said, we're working right now on the data as far as getting everything compiled. We want to make sure it's good information for you all to look at. Since we did a 60-day extension on here, I'd have to look at the timeline for our solder miller. Like Tim was saying, a lot of the delay had to do with not really COVID, but a lot of us as the village need to provide that data to solder millers so that we can get this accurate and up and running. So as soon as I can get a timeline put together as far as when we can actually start including the council to be able to look at, we'll provide that to you all, that information to you all.
I think we'd be able to provide a link pretty quickly, but the information isn't totally accurate. So we need a little bit more time.
Yes, that is correct. Because the village departments right now have access to looking at things and kind of, we're wanting them to utilize and look at this so they can give us ideas, what we can change, what we can add, what we can take away. And we'll want that from the council as well as any ideas that we can get that might make this a more useful tool.
Mary, that was Todd texting me. He wanted to give a presentation. I told him, no, I'd prefer staff to present so you can see how far along they came. And I think Karen did an excellent job presenting on it. But Todd, did you want to add a couple of things, briefly? Todd, are you there? I guess not. I thought he was on, Karen.
Hey, Karen, in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, why does it say Bureau of Land Management, Texas Parks and Wildlife?
That might be the map that's being utilized there. I'm not really sure. I'll have to find that out.
Yeah, that seems weird.
Mayor Crawford and Councilor Coughlin, this is Eric Boyda. That's credit to the data source. So the BLM is the person who created this topographic map.
Thank you, Eric.
It's BLM that created, not Texas Parks and Wildlife?
They probably did it in conjunction with Texas Parks and Wildlife, BLM, and then Esri to publish that base map.
Okay. It just seemed strange to have Texas Parks and New Mexico map, so.
Yeah, Todd just texted me that the draft is available now. That, but hopefully the pre-final will be mid-July or so. So if the council wants access to it now, we can get them access to it. If not, the pre-final will be mid-July.
Okay. All right, what's next?
And it's very user-friendly, Mayor. When you
Yeah, it looks
get on
pretty simple.
Yeah.
Like
That's what we actually did when they first presented it to us. We had all the directors on Zoom, and just, ad hoc, I'd asked each director, can you get on there and open up your projects, and all of them were able to navigate it on the first try. So.
And Tim, if I could add to that, there's several different already filters that we're talking about adding, and one of them is, I know, funding sources, because as capital projects, I mean, that's the first thing we always look at when we're trying to decide assigning a project number. We always utilize the funding source as how the label is how we're coming up with a project number. And I know that a lot of people reference that, like FEMA project or SGRT project or a geo bond project. So we're looking at all those ways that will help all the users that will be wanting to access this be able to jump around and look for things, because we know everybody looks at things a little bit different.
And the state of New Mexico is using a very similar dashboard application for tracking capital, the state capital projects, and reporting back to legislators. So,
Okay, that's good.
yeah. Council, is there any other questions on this part of the report?
Nope.
Okay.
I'll stop sharing now.
The other thing I wanted to report, Mayor, is we have had our steering committee meetings on Grindstone and the links for the development of the survey. And today we have the first meeting for the metropolitan redevelopment area. We had several businesses participate in that. We anticipate next week, Rosie and Phyllis will be down here to start doing a door-to-door visit with the business owners in that area, and start doing an inventory of all blighted properties along that corridor. So with that, Mayor, we have provided a written report that's attached to your packet. Is there any questions on anything from me?
I don't think so. Does any of the council have any other questions for Manager Dodge?
I don't.
Okay, I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, moving right along, we'll go for reports from our officials. And I think we'll start here with you, Councilor Cornelius.
Thank you, Mayor. Wanted to also thank the SAFE team for being downtown. They seem to be getting mostly positive reception. Occasionally there's somebody that won't do it, but we can't make them, so that's their choice. But hopefully it helps keep the spread of this down. And that way the mayor will still be able to talk to the governor.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you've done a good job on that. That's really all I have.
Okay. How about Counselor Letterman?
Thanks, Mayor. I would just like to tell Rodney how much I appreciate his hard work and the leadership that he provides to the Parks and Rec Department. Like every other employee that retires, you never know what you have until you don't have it. And I just really appreciate his hard work and attention to detail and the way he deals with people in the community to get things done. And so, Rodney, thank you so much. I too would like to say thank you to the SAFE team. This was a great way to interact with the businesses and also our tourists. I just appreciate so much the employee directors, Manager Dodge, and Assistant Manager Bronson. They've done a great job in continuing this worthwhile project. And I just think that it was a great way to be proactive in this COVID. And then I would like to have a shout out to Chief Hooker and his police department and the dispatch. Just to say thank you for all that you do. And of course, not only the police department, but the fire department as well. But just a shout out to say thank you for everything that they do. Sometimes we take people for granted. I know I do. And I just want to say thank you for keeping us safe. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay. How about you, Joseph Eby, Counselor Eby?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, you know, with Rodney retiring there, it makes me wish that I had come to work for the village 30 years ago so I could retire. But anyway, we want to thank Rodney for all of his years that he's put in and for all of the hard work, dedication, and actually brainstorming and coming through on all different ideas and projects that he has had. And so we want to thank him for that. And just when the time comes in, what they say, October, that we will wish him well. But I know that during the interim, he will be working hard for the village. So thank you, Rodney, and also to Diane for her dedication to the community and to reporting on the governance of the village, different community outreaches, different organizations, and just the village in general. She has been out there and been a part of it and has done her best to report accurately and fairly. So we want to say congratulations and thank you to her for her her contributions to the community. And also just thank you to the administration and to you, Mayor, for working through all of this through the COVID-19 process, to the Riddle so safe for their time out there. I know I spent a little bit of time out there and got to meet a little bit with the business owners, and they were definitely happy to be open. They were excited about that. So we just hope all of them do very well. That and I know that the village will rebound to any kind of, let's just say, negative impact this has had. That we will come back, as I say, we will so strong. So just shout out for everyone who did work on the Really Know So Safe, and for whoever came up with brainstorming and putting all that together and getting all the materials to hand out to everybody. And just really just shout out to the community in general and to the employees that keep the village running. So we just want to say thank you for that. So that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. How about Counselor Coughlin?
So, I mean, it seems like it's been 6 months since our last council meeting. Things are just moving so quickly. It gets to be kind of crazy. Like everybody else, Rodney, we're gonna miss you. Yeah, and I wish I would have gotten one of those jobs that I could retire early, but it's making me feel old seeing all these people retiring. But it's the way that it is, and I think the testament to everything that all of our retirees have accomplished won't be noticed right away, but it's something that will be the long-term effects of their works that will last with the village for a long time. All of our departments have been working their tails off. We went from basically 0 to 1,000%. This summer has been just amazing at the numbers of people that are flocking and packing our lakes that we're just not used to. We did a pretty good job last year, and then this year it just overwhelmed us. So I appreciate the flexibility and the ability to respond to requests from our citizens that are being impacted. That's a testament to a good run government, is being able to respond to those requests instead of ignoring them. So we're not perfect, but we're working on it, and we're working on getting all those issues resolved, and it just takes time. And I've gotten a lot of emails from people that are appreciative of all the efforts that we're doing. So hats off to everybody. And Mayor, keep up what you're doing. I know you're putting in tons of work and tons of meetings, and we're appreciative of that as well. So that's pretty much all I have.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Jackson?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wanted to tag on a few comments in respect to Rodney Griego. He always amazes me at how he can finesse himself through budgets, needs, and present to us a plan with great results. We may find a successor. It'll be very difficult to find a true replacement. As regards to health initiatives, I think it speaks well of the village and to all those involved with a safe initiative that we only have 5 cases of COVID in the county. It doesn't look like we're going to have our secondary surge. At least that would be my hope. Mayor Crawford, you've shown extraordinary leadership through extraordinary circumstances, and we've done it repeatedly. You can't be everybody's friend, but you can sure be their leader and show a good example by that leadership. Diane, I really wish you well in your second retirement. I worked well with you when I was both with the hospital as medical director and later in a lesser role here. We want to wish you well and hope that you have well-deserved a second retirement because of your consummate professionalism and your great work ethic. That's all I have here.
Thank you, Counselor. Last but not least, Mayor Pro Tem, do you have something for us?
Thank you, Mayor, and all I could really say is ditto, and I agree with every statement was said. So I appreciate you all on the council. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. All right. Now we'll move on to the public hearing, and I'll read it again, but it's in compliance with the Attorney General's office mandate regarding the Open Meetings Act during the COVID-19 state of emergency. The governing body will accept public input for public hearings via email at irmadivine@ruidoso-nm.gov. Public comments will be distributed to governing body members for review. Now, the item that we have up is the ordinance 2020-04, an ordinance amending the Village of Ruidoso Municipal Code of Ordinances, Chapter 78, Lodgers Tax, Section 78 through 36, exemptions from tax. Mrs. Devine, do we have any emails or any public input in that form?
Mayor Crawford, members of the governing body, once again, the clerk's office did not receive any communication or request for input during this public hearing, either electronically or in writing or telephone in any way.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll move on to our presenter, Mr. Justin Huffman, our tourism director. Will give us a brief update on this. Are you there, Justin?
See him.
Mayor, if he's not there, I'll just go ahead and present it.
Okay.
This lodgers tax ordinance has the ag rule under it. Are you there, Justin?
Are you there, Justin? Oh, I see him with Matt. Justin. Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, just going through just a brief update on kind of what we're looking at going into next fiscal. We've already discussed it, but you know, our budget was cut in half. We did go through the application process for the Google DMO, which is really going to help build out the Google listings for the entire community. So not only internally owned websites like Discover Derosa, the Parks and Rec and stuff like that, but also assisting businesses across the community to develop their website listings so that whenever people are searching for Derosa, we have a better base on the internet. So we actually got accepted into that program on the pre-level, and we'll be going around and really helping these businesses shortly get those updated. Additionally, that gives us a really high probability of being accepted and getting funded through New Mexico Tourism Department going into FY21, which will really help offset some of the budget cuts that we had made. Total requests going into FY21, if they're able to grant us all of our requests, we really won't feel any financial impact through the New Mexico Tourism Co-op program. So we're really excited about that. We will find out starting in July, and those funds will take effect in October. So there will be a little bit of a delay, but we do have a plan strategized in place to make sure that our marketing is going to be sufficient to carry us through. We're also going to run digital heavy campaigns. So just being a little bit more savvy with our dollars, going big and staying, just being as scrappy as possible with our funds. And we're excited about that. One more update that I'd like to throw your guys' way is, knowing that people are going to be hesitant to travel by airplane. A big focus that we've had moving forward is the road trip idea. There's basically a renaissance with Great American Road Trip. And so we are actually we started working on and are gonna continue to build out a campaign where we have a 500-mile radius where we're gonna really focus on driving in. Can you hear me?
Justin,
yeah.
This item, we're just talking about the ordinance update and the deletion from the ordinance.
My apologies, I'll get in on that too. I'll say about the rest of this for next
We were
month.
very interested in the Main Street stuff, but yeah, we were wanting an update on the ordinance for the.
You guys should have cut me off 5 minutes ago.
That's all right. It was interesting stuff. So go ahead.
Well, Matt's like, Justin, run over here. It's your turn. I'm like, oh no. So the STR ordinance, lodgers tax overwhelmingly supported, striking the 3-room exemption, the tax exemption. Are we on the same page, the correct page now?
Yes.
Okay. So they struck the 3-room tax exemption, or agreed, to support striking the 3-room tax exemption so that we would be in alignment with the state ordinance. And they were overwhelmingly in support of that, which then also will help us be in alignment with our contracts with Airbnb and VRBO.
Okay.
And I believe that's it. I'll stand for questions.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Justin? No? Okay, thank you, Justin.
Sorry about that, Mayor.
Oh, that's all right. I was just interested in what you were saying anyway, so at least we got
I'll tell you guys it next month.
Right. Okay, so, is that all we need on this portion of the public hearing for the ordinance? Does any of the counselors have any questions or comments?
No.
Okay, so there's no action to be taken on this?
Yes.
There is? Okay, so I'll need a motion.
Mayor, before you do, can I invoke the solace rule?
Oh,
And
yeah,
ask if there's comment from the public?
Mayor Crawford, members of the governing body, there have been no communication received in the clerk's office in any way, shape, or form in reference to this particular public hearing. And it has been duly advertised as required by state law, as well as have requested for any input to be provided via email to my office.
Okay,
Mayor, I'm.
Yes, sir.
Accept ordinance 2020-04, an ordinance amending the Village of Riddle's Municipal Code of Ordinances, Chapter 78, Lodgers Tax, Section 78-36, exemptions from tax.
Second.
okay, do we have a comment from
Yeah.
Rifle?
Yes, Mayor. Since Coughlin commented on my routine, I'll comment on his wordsmithing.
Okay,
So Irma, on item number 7, if we could just drop that or and put in a period instead of the semicolon after the ill.
did you get that, Irma?
Yes, noted.
She's got it.
Good catch.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call. Do we have any other comments or questions? Okay, we'll have a roll call, please, Mrs. Devine.
Yes, sir. Counselor Letterman,
Aye.
Counselor Coughlin,
Aye.
Counselor Eby,
Aye.
Counselor Salas,
Aye.
Counselor Jackson,
Aye.
Counselor Cornelius.
Aye.
Awesome. All righty. We'll move on to regular item. Number 1 is the ratification of purchase of a dock for the storage and launching of contracted watercraft rentals by the concession operations at Grindstone Lake. And I believe is that Rodney?
Yes, sir. Mayor and councilors, I had submitted this purchase request to the governing body due to the fact that I felt with the current amount of activity taking place at the lake that this took on more of a need at the time than I had previously noted to the governing body. By placing the dock at the concession rentals, it is going to provide additional storage space, which will free up retail space in the building. It will provide customers with a safer alternative to get onto the watercraft, and it will provide a much more professional experience that has been happening, as well as it will also provide those vessels with a much better situation for loading and unloading into the building, because what was happening is when they were moving the boats back and forth into the building, into the water each day, in the morning, in the afternoon, they were seeing a little bit of abrasion on the bottom of all of the vessels. And so this will be a better situation for the vessels as well, because they will be stored on the dock with a lock and a cable. Again, this is a ratification of that purchase. We did submit a purchase order to the company, about around 2 weeks ago. And that dock has been delivered today, and the installation should be completed by tomorrow evening. And I'm open for any questions if the governing body may have any.
Great job, Rodney.
Thank you. I appreciate your all's support.
Okay, did everybody get to look at the sketch? So,
Yeah.
okay. Does anybody have any other comments or questions of Rodney? Well, this ought to make some people happy because I know we're trying everything we can to control that lake, and it's very, very, very popular.
Mayor, can Rodney just give us a little bit of an update on numbers that he's seen?
Yeah, if he's got them.
I'm sorry, Manager.
Can you give us
Dodge,
an
did you
update on the numbers?
request-
Can you give us an update on the numbers that we're seeing on the vessels and parking permits?
So the weekdays, Monday through Thursday, have been really steady. The numbers are higher than we have had last year. I think we're on parking permits for that Monday through Thursday. We're roughly around $1,500 per day on the weekdays, and the weekends, including Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're averaging anywhere from $2,500 to almost $3,000. So on the weekdays, it's roughly about 300 parking permits, and the weekends upwards of 500 parking permits. The vessels, our agreement with the concessionaire does provide for a monthly payment due by the, I think within 3 business days at the end of the month. The vendor has decided to pay us weekly for those fees, just for the rentals, just because of the high volume. The previous 3 weekends, we have received for our portion of the boat rentals roughly about $7,000 per week. And that is roughly about $10 from each rental.
Wow. Wow, that's a lot of renting.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Wow.
That's a lot of traffic, huh?
Yeah.
It is a lot of traffic, and I'm sure you all are aware that the use at the lake has steadily increased since Memorial Weekend. So initially on Memorial Weekend, we were anticipating, to be busy. We initially scheduled 2 staff on the weekend to manage parking. Of course, we quickly realized that wasn't enough. The following weekend, we went to 6 staff. Again, the weekend after that, we realized even that wasn't enough. So this last weekend, we increased it to 8 staff. And we still ended up calling in a couple other persons to help us manage the parking. And so we're adjusting each week as we go. We're looking at expanding to 12 staff persons for the upcoming weekend, and we'll just monitor it and see how it goes from there. We're trying to be proactive and head off issues as they arise, but it's actually exceeded what I ever thought it would without the water park being present.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. We have a motion then. We have no more questions or comments. Can we get a motion for?
Mayor, I move that we accept the ratification of purchase of a dock for the storage and launching of contracted watercraft rentals by the concession operations at Grindstone Lake.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any other comments?
Just one, Mr. Mayor Jackson, we might consider it, just calling it Griego's Marina.
That's a good one, yeah. And just on a note that goes along with Grindstone, I know we had calls from surrounding neighborhoods about all the people looking for the lake and ending up in neighborhoods, turning around in their driveways, whatnot. So I know we're in the process, are we not, Manager Dodge, to get signage, especially like up there on Oak Grove and some of those?
Yes, Mayor, we put up some temporary signage right away on Saturday or Sunday, whenever it was that you contacted me. Then we did some line spots yesterday, and I believe the signs are going up either today or tomorrow.
Okay.
Permanent signs.
Awesome. All right, we have a motion second. Roll call, please, ma'am.
Councillor Letterman,
Aye.
Councillor Cornelius,
Aye.
Councillor Jackson,
Aye.
Councillor Coughlin,
Aye.
Councillor Salas,
Aye.
Councillor Edie.
Aye.
Mayor, one other thing is the road coming down the hill and the turnaround was oiled this morning.
Okay, great.
So that was taken care of.
Awesome. All right, item number 2 is discussion and possible action on first renewal agreement with Ruidoso Valley Chamber of Commerce for professional services for operation of both the Ruidoso Visitor Center and the Billy the Kid Visitor Center for the Village of Ruidoso in the amount not to exceed $151,150 for the period of July 1 through 2020 to June 30th, 2021. I believe we have Becky on the.
Mayor, if I may real quick,
I'm here.
On the
Okay.
explanation on this one, Councilor Coughlin had asked that we put it on the agenda because there was a discrepancy between the chamber's budget and what was on our contract amount. In my discussions with Becky, we found a line item where we had asked last year in the amount of $1,000 for the chamber to provide educational services or training services to the businesses. That's not added into the contract. So that $1,000 is going to be removed so that we line up Becky's budget with our contract.
Okay.
So Becky's here to give an explanation and then talk about how she's going to potentially move forward with summer and COVID and the information centers.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Becky. You want to take it away?
Well, I'll just answer questions, but I did find another discrepancy, Tim, and I was a little off, but we invoiced you correctly. The budget, the number was $1,000 over, but we never invoiced that for that $1,000. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Our numbers were right, just on the piece of paper with the budget was incorrect. We don't have a problem with that number.
Okay.
So when we can save money for you guys, we try. As you know, we only invoiced for 3 quarters out of this year. We will not be invoicing for the 4th quarter. Deborah and I have worked the phones, but we have not had the visitor center staff in here. So we just did that ourselves.
Okay. Can you tell us?
That's being paid out of the chamber.
Can you tell us what your plans are coming up? Is it going to be more of the same, or do you have some things that you're looking at doing different?
Well, we'd like to get the visitor center open, at least at the chamber, but we're kind of waiting on the governor to say, yay, how we're going to do it. Because there's been some question as to visitor centers and how they're going to do it safely. So we kind of held off for the governor on that. That's this visitor center. I'm going to be honest. The visitor center at Billy the Kid, we have absolutely no way to control the influx of people. And I don't know. I mean, it's something Justin Huffman and I had discussed. And we might just think we need to really think this through before we make a decision on Billy the Kid right now.
Okay. Is there anything else? Does anybody have any questions of Becky?
Hey, Becky, can't you just put somebody at the door to monitor the number of people?
I guess we could. We'd have to set something up for them, Tim.
Because
There's only one person that works there.
Oh, okay. Because that's
So one person a day works in that building.
okay. Because that's pretty much the recommendation with all other businesses is that you just have somebody at the door to monitor it.
Well, that would increase payroll, and that's not in the budget.
What is your building capacity at that facility?
I don't know. I don't really know, Tim, but it's a real touchy-feely place. Have you been in there?
Yeah, I have, but I just didn't know as far as monitoring the number of people, if your capacity is high enough that even at 50%, you never get that many in the building. It's something to consider.
I'm open to look at it. I don't know about just having one of those ladies stand at the front door. And we need to discuss whether or not that's going to be a public bathroom, because when people come in, they come in groups, and they want to come in and they want to use the bathroom and they want to play around in that facility. So I just think we need to be on the side of caution for right this minute.
Yeah,
until we have a little more input from the tourism department as to how they want these visitor centers to operate.
Okay, because I haven't seen anything specific to visitor centers in any of the orders, and believe me, I've been reading those orders like crazy because there's a lot of discrepancies and competing information that comes out in those. But it's just that with the huge numbers of people that are coming to town, it seems like we should have some type of resource available for those people to get the information that they need.
Well, they can come to this visitor center. We're not letting them in.
So are you just doing the lock off so they can come into that 24-hour section?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're answering up to 100 calls a day, talking to people.
We're getting the other 200. So they gave you that one. And then grocery store. You want to know how got the hashtag on the back.
Is that Deborah talking? I couldn't hear her.
I couldn't hear what that was.
Susan.
Oh, okay. Mary, I just want to make a statement that, I appreciate Becky and her staff. Through this process, they've kept in touch. They've provided resources to us, information. And in addition to that, they didn't bills for the last quarter, so it helped us out budgetarily as well. So I just want to express my appreciation to her.
Duly noted. Thank you again, Becky.
Yeah, could I just add one thing? Billy the Kid is more of a museum than it is a visitor center. People don't go there to get information about what to do in Ruidoso. They go there, they want to see historic things about Billy the Kid. Our center is completely different. We aren't about the history as much as we are about the information. So I'm really hesitant to commit to an open date for Billy the Kid until we know more about that type of facility.
Okay.
And we will not invoice the village or lodger's tax for any money that we aren't if we're not fulfilling the contract. If we can't, for whatever reason. I mean, right now museums I know are specifically not open.
Okay, does anybody have anything else? If not, we'll just need a motion on this item number 2.
Mr. Mayor, Jackson, move to approve the first renewal agreement with the Ruidoso Valley Chamber of Commerce for professional services for operation of both the Ruidoso Visitor Center and the Billy the Kids Visitor Center as required and possible for the village of Ruidoso in an amount not to exceed $151,150 for the period of July 1, 2020 through June 30, 2021.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. No more further discussion. Roll call, please, ma'am.
Councilor Jackson,
Aye.
Councilor Letterman,
Aye.
Councilor Eby,
Aye.
Councilor Salas,
Aye.
Councilor Coughlin,
Aye.
Councilor Cornelius.
Aye.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
before we move on, I just want to, for the record, I just want to, and the dollar amount, I just want to make a statement that we are going to be issuing a sole source letter on this project. I had a discussion with Judy and Ron this morning, and just due to the amount and the nature of the business, we're going to do a sole source determination on this.
Okay.
Okay.
Item number 3, discussion and possible action on professional services agreement with the Ruidoso Midtown Association to promote the Midtown District in the village of Ruidoso. Matthew Ingram, you up?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. Very good.
Good, good. Hey, I had submitted a presentation. Would you like for me to share it on my screen for the council?
Yes, if you're able.
Is everybody able to see this?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, thank you so much for having me as per our scope of service, giving a quarterly report on the happenings for the Ruidoso Midtown Association. We should kind of be in full force right now with all of our special events. Unfortunately, due to the COVID pandemic, we've had to reschedule our summer series, not taking the risk to tarnish or inhibit any of our events with the pandemic. The board has made the decision to just reschedule everything for 2021. And as I mean everything in the immediate future, we've had to reschedule Mountain Smoke Festival, the Ruidoso Festival, which would be next weekend. We also are canceling, rescheduling for 2021 our parade, 4th of July Freedom Festival. And then as per, I know that the farmers market has been put on the back burners as well, kind of with everything here. So it's kind of a big shot to us, especially it was a big way of how we stimulate, and we plan to stimulate the district. However, we've kind of had to kind of shift focus and shift gears here as special events have become more taboo. We will continue to do this. We will hold on to these events and look to promote them in 2021. However, this year did not seem appropriate. As per the governor's orders, once the restrictions are lifted and the special event category is addressed, we will develop and promote a new special event. One more likely that is something that we haven't done in the past, but we are anxiously awaiting the go-ahead that we can go ahead and stimulate the district with people, as well as stimulate the organization with revenue sources here again. So moving along here on our Q4 service report, I just keep track of the opening and closures of businesses, public improvement projects. I know it was a busy quarter. We saw improvement projects from 3 different establishments down there. I know that there's actually a couple of more, but having business owners actually give the input into what they're doing has kind of deemed to be difficult at times. But nonetheless, I know that Cafe Rio, the Bird Nest, which was the old Atkins building, and Old Barrel Tea Company have done some renovation to their businesses. We welcomed 6 new businesses as per new business license in Ruidoso. We also had 4 business closures as well in the district. It did give us for the quarters net 6 new jobs. And I would just expect to see an increase in jobs as everybody's trying to get revamped up here for summertime. The last quarter report will be due in July 18th for us, and that's where I will have kept track of COVID, just kind of any effect that COVID has had, any business closures or anything like that, and job loss. So come my next quarterly meeting, I will have that information available. We are just finishing up the bathroom project. We've got our final state inspection to get the stucco put on the front of the building. We just set the digital kiosk, and currently, as of right now, we're working with our IT department to get all of our application maps and businesses on the kiosk. So next time you drive through Midtown, make sure that you take a look over there at the kiosk. We hope to get that up and running here in the next day or so. I also want to say a big thanks to the village, and Parks and Rec was part of this, and again to Rodney on the work that you guys do, but was the extension of the sidewalk up from Center Street. I don't believe I put a slide in here on that. The village took that and extended I believe 180 feet of sidewalk. So now it gives our patrons access to the Midtown district all the way to Wingfield Park with some safe sidewalk access. So again, those are the things that we're looking to get accomplished and like seeing happening in the Midtown district. Just kind of keep moving through here. Our last quarter, we did run pretty heavy video campaigns and promotions. One of our biggest ones was a flyover of the Midtown district with the drone. Basically, every one of our shots has been getting, the last drone, I believe, has over 20,000 impressions and close to 10,000 views. So just kind of cool, unique ways that we've been able to kind of keep promoting the district. Again, all organically, and we're not really spending any money on this, just so that we can kind of make it through budget here. One of the campaigns that we had done projects was a video series. This is where we are giving business owners digital media to promote their business. So far this past quarter, Lost Pikers, Sacred Ground, Village Buttery, Mountain Arts Gallery, Brunel, Hidden Tap, and the Ruidoso Trading Post have all been part of our campaign. We've grown our page to over 3,500 followers, which is a direct, I think, relation to just having cool media that's going on to our page, promoting our district. I would like to say that special events was part of the game this year, but that was not the case. We did promote Will Ponder's, the hand sanitizing product that he is producing here locally, and told that story as well. So kind of some unique things. Hop on the Ruidoso Midtown Association Facebook to check out some of those videos. The next thing I'll hop onto is our digital kiosk and our application that was developed with the Ruidoso Tourism Department. This was from several days ago. We are seeing, in total, we've seen about 44,000 sessions on the platform. I think, again, it's interesting to look at these facts on the presentation in front of you, where it does show where some of our highest concentration of users are coming from: El Paso, Texas, Dallas, Austin, Hobbs. This is all trackable analytics that I know are used in targeted campaigns. The Ruidoso Main Street platform, I know that this past year, I only pulled for the previous year, was 49,000 page views. So our website is getting the traffic and getting the use and how we kind of platformed. Again, those were really positioned for events that we're not going to be using. So I'd imagine that our numbers are going to be down comparatively from this next quarter on. The next thing I'll just go into is the Ruidoso Safe campaign. I just have to a big shout out to the village at being a part of this and promoting this. I know that the business owners and the pulse of the people that work down there really appreciate that, to make them feel safe and secure and comfortable. The addition of the hand sanitizing stations throughout the district, allowing for our guests to feel more comfortable in the district. And I think it's just such a feel good that the product and the hand sanitizer was produced locally here. So again, big shout out to the Ruidoso Safe campaign. I know that we've put all the logos on most of the videos that we have done. The Ruidoso Safe campaign just on the RMA platform has received 31,000 views of Ruidoso Safe logo. So just a way that we can kind of help and promote, and I think it's a good message to be promoting right now. So really, other than that, we're just kind of trying to stay innovative as we move into this post-COVID way of doing business, and supporting our business owners in the district as much as possible. So I believe that kind of ending it here on a weird note, but we're definitely looking forward to being innovative and how we can operate in the future here. So would like to stand for questions and I'll go from there. Let me see if I can stop the share.
What is the Freedom Festival?
So Mayor, we had developed again, kind of a pocket event at, it was either going to be at Wingfield Park, but we were looking at doing a 4th of July parade and party. So hosting a parade that would run from the Domino's up through Midtown and end at Wingfield Park, as well as host beer, wine, live music, and just kind of a celebration. We weren't really looking at stepping on any toes with all the other regional activities that were going on. Didn't want to compete against the fireworks, so we're going to run the event from in the morning until probably mid-afternoon, and just kind of do away and try to hold some people here in the village for the morning of the 4th of July.
Okay,
so we've developed a website and everything for it, but unfortunately it's just a no-go this year.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Go ahead.
Oh, Mayor Crawford. Matt, kudos for your analytics and all the hard work you've done. If you would help me to understand a little bit about what we reported under your activities reflecting village funds and the scope of services. As a former examiner with Quality New Mexico, I just had this question. As we look and reflect on the New Mexico Main Street program, are those items that are under the scopes of service, specifically A through E, are we helped to those in some way? And what kind of reporting do we do? I see a lot of plan and study. I don't see so much do and act, although it may be hidden in what you've just shown us.
Councilor Jackson, you said in reference to our scope of service, I did not hear the article number that you had said.
Well, basically it is the scope, my apologies. It's basically the scope of services items A through E, as they all are subtitled into different areas and activities.
Yeah, okay. So I think you might be referring to, in our scope of services, we are, our organization focuses on 4 domains. Basically would be design, promotion, economic vitality, and how come I can't think of that one? Design, organization, promotion. Yeah, design, organization, promotion, and economic vitality. Sorry about that. So it's 4 areas of concern that we look at. Is that what you're referring to?
Well, you've helped to define it a little better. I'm just going by the literature that's forwarded to us. And for that, we have basically activities reflecting village funds. I'm trying to tie that scope of services, items A through E, through what you just presented, so that I might have a better understanding of how these two link together. I think you've made your point in terms of how it links to the New Mexico Main Street program, and I appreciate that.
Yes, you know, we go through and develop an annual work plan that we follow every year. It is adopted by our board of directors, and we follow that out. As far as our scope of service, we try to you know, relay everything that we're doing in our annual work plan back to that scope of service to make sure that we're executing you know, every line item in detail in that scope of service. I know that some of this stuff has changed in our scope of service. It does call for 2 events that we're supposed to hold annually. We do hold more than that. There's some of these improvement projects, business seminars that we have yet to kind of accomplish. So I'd still say that that's a work in progress there. Lighting update is another, some of these larger scale projects. We have just yet to get the funds and be able to execute as of right now. I don't know if that answered your question there.
It does, thank you.
Matt, can you talk a little bit about how you track the different activity that you have For instance, you have to have so many volunteer hours from your board. You have to be working on all these, on the 4-point approach. So can you expand on how you track and how you report directly to the state on those issues? And, you know, this agreement is really a partnership between the state of New Mexico, Village of Ruidoso, and the Midtown Association. So can you talk a little bit more about that reporting, Matt, how you guys track that?
Yes, sir. Every quarter, we are required to submit a document to the New Mexico Economic Development Department in tracking job loss, job gain, physical and private improvement projects, both public and private. There is some other measures and metrics that we keep and track in there, and that's whether we're bringing in public support, special events, how many promotions we run. And so we report on that quarterly to the New Mexico Economic Development Department that goes to New Mexico Main Street. We then upload those reports to a document repository for all of our board members to review and have. At the end, we are required to come up with an annual accreditation report that is issued by the National Main Street. Each year, these requirements change, and I know that they have changed from last year. And so a full-fledged document of reporting of what we have done comes out July 18th. When we do have, we will also have a site visit from our New Mexico Main Street partners, which you guys will be a part of. That will document and reflect all of the reporting that we have done over the year. I typically share that with the village. I know that we have it on an online repository for our members that are part of the board there. So those are some of the tracking measures and units that we try to keep track on and we'll report with. As far as volunteer hours go, again, we collect all of that off of our subcommittee meetings. Each one of our promotions, design, economic vitality, and organizational chair members are responsible for maintaining and tracking the volunteer hours. I know that I only have volunteer hours from up through Q3 for us. Not until next month will we have the latest. But up until now, we have accumulated about 1,200 volunteer hours. I was hoping to blow our numbers out of the water with our special events, but that was not the case. A big sum of those numbers came from all of the volunteer hours that we saw over the Halloween span with the pumpkin roll and haunted house and such.
Okay, is there anything else? Any have more questions?
Mayor, just for you know, clarification, when the annual review is conducted, I believe in October, November, then a new scope of work will come out. So this contract reflects that, showing that scope's going to change as the annual reports do.
Okay. All right.
Yes, and going back on what Tim was just saying, we've had the same working MOU before I was hired with the village. I believe that the New Mexico Main Street is coming out with a revised MOU, something that will be a document that we will have as we move in for that meeting in October. I think they're stepping up to the 21st century to kind of get us caught up here.
Okay. All right, need a motion to accept.
This is Jackson. Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the professional services agreement with the Ruidoso Midtown Association to promote the Midtown District in the Village of Ruidoso.
Second.
Okay, that was Evie.
See.
Okay, any other questions or comments for Matt? Okay, roll call, please, ma'am.
Councillor Jackson,
Aye.
Councillor Eby,
Aye.
Councillor Letterman,
Aye.
Councillor Salas,
Aye.
Councillor Coughlin,
Aye.
Councillor Cornelius.
Aye. All righty, thank you. Thank you, Matt. Item number 4 is discussion.
Thank you.
Discussion and possible action on agreement with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Chavez and Lincoln Counties to fund the triple play game plan for Mind, Body, and Soul program for Derosa's youth.
Mayor, councilors, this is Rodney Griego, the Parks and Recreation Director. I have submitted this item as typically it's an annual review of the services provided by the Boys and Girls Club regarding the game plan for the Mind, Body, and Soul program. I apologize, I did not visit with Mr. Coughlin and don't intend to put him on the spot. I'm not sure if he has numbers that he would like to share, but I'm recommending the approval of the payment for these services for fiscal year 21.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Rodney or for Councilor Coughlin?
Mr. Mayor Jackson, I only have one that's really more in line with what Councilor Coughlin is so good at, and that is under item 4, it says independent contractors shall do all that is necessary to insure. That should be changed to insure. We insure vehicles and we insure the drivers.
Okay, did you find that there, Irma?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just, if you would, just accept it as an editorial correction.
Okay.
I move that we accept the agreement with the Boys and Girls Club of Chavez and Lincoln Counties to fund the triple play game plan for Mind, Body, and Soul program for Riddle youth.
Okay, we need a second.
Second.
Okay, no further discussion, then we'll have a roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Councilor Letterman,
Aye.
Councilor Cornelius,
Aye.
Councilor Jackson,
Aye.
Councilor Coughlin,
Abstain.
Councilor Salas,
Aye.
Councilor Eby.
Aye.
Okay, very good. Did Coughlin say stain?
Yeah, you're abstain.
It just sounded like you said stain. All right.
Abstain.
Okay. Number 5 is discussion and possible action on task order RFP number 2018-005P-06 with Mosen Corbin and Associates, Inc. for professional engineering services for fault H1979 S10 and Brown H1497 S well improvements in the amount not to exceed $276,810.76, including gross receipts tax. And I believe that this one is Mr. Boyda.
Mayor Crawford, councilors, I'm Eric Boyda, the Watershed and Water Rights Director. As we discussed in the workshop meeting, this is our phase 2 of the Eagle Creek and Gatlin Canyon well field design prioritization project. These 2 wells are going to be important for us to continue increasing the use of our Eagle Creek water rights and reducing our reliance on the Gatlin Canyon well field and our Derosa assets. And Mayor Pro Tem Salas requested that I present some figures on kind of how we've changed our diversion structure to increase Eagle Creek water right diversions. And so in the last 7 years, the lowest percentage of Eagle Creek water in comparison to the total diversions was in 2013, and Eagle Creek production only accounted for 32% of our total diversions. But just last year in 2019, it accounted for 55%. And if you guys remember the level of service document, that 55% is our targeted amount of how much we want to try to produce from Eagle Creek. And this drastic increase in Eagle Creek diversions is really a testament to the efforts of our water production manager, Randy Kane, and his operators, being able to utilize surface water from Eagle Creek. And these wells are going to fit nicely into that strategy, because even though it's not been drastically wet, we still have been getting pretty good surface flows. But these wells are going to help us get through long droughts so that we can keep that Eagle Creek production up high even when we don't have that surface water available. So this project, we got a real rough estimate of about $1 million for construction costs. And if we just look at the traditional bidding costs, or engineering costs, it's $156,000. We added in additional observation time as time and materials, and that's because we have so many, a significant amount of construction projects going on in town at this time frame, that we wanted to make sure that we had adequate coverage to observe the construction activities. The other thing is, just like with the A2 well, these wells don't have that 50-foot annular seal requirement. And so lately, NMED has been authorizing drinking water permits for old wells that don't have the 50-foot seal, as long as you put in drainage around the well and elevate the wellhead platform above the surrounding landscape. And so that's going to be a substantial savings if we can get that to happen. But in this task order, we wanted to include an additive alternate in case if we did need to do those washovers. And so that will only be charged if NMED doesn't authorize the alternative. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that anyone has about this project.
Any questions? Okay, then we'll entertain a motion, please.
Mayor, this is Evie. We move to approve task order RFP 2018-005P-06 with Molson Partner Associates Incorporated for professional engineering services. So call H-1979-S10 Brown, H-1497-S well improvements in an amount not to exceed $276,810.76, including gross receipts tax.
Jackson, second.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, roll call, please, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Councilor Eby?
Aye.
Councilor Jackson?
Aye.
Councilor Cornelius?
Aye.
Councilor Coughlin?
Aye.
Councilor Salas?
Aye.
Councilor Letterman?
Aye.
Okay, very good. Number 6, discussion and possible action on remodel of the solid waste shop in the amount of $158,973, including gross receipts tax, through Cooperative Educational Services, CES agreement with White Sands Construction. Is this Adam? Or is this
No, sir,
Jerry?
this is Jerry.
Okay, Jerry. Go right ahead.
Yes, sir, this is to finish our shop behind our old shop so we can pull in our semis and work on them inside instead of outside.
Okay, anybody else?
Mayor, this is a project that's desperately needed for them, and I'll go ahead and make a motion if you're ready.
We're ready.
I'll move to approve remodel of the solid waste shop in the amount of $158,973, including gross receipts tax, through Cooperative Education Services agreement with White Sands Construction.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, roll call, please, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Counselor Coughlin,
Aye.
Counselor Letterman,
Aye.
Counselor Eby,
Aye.
Counselor Salas,
Aye.
Counselor Cornelius,
Aye.
Counselor Jackson.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay, now item number 7 is the discussion and possible action on the reservation of $1 million from fiscal year 2020 budget for affordable housing. And so everybody knows we've been working on this issue for about 35, 40 years around here. And we're actually looking like to maybe make some progress on that. Manager Dodge, did you have any comments?
Mayor, this is just showing Chelsea in good faith that we have the money and that we're setting it aside. They are looking at the Cream Manors property as a rehabilitation project and adding additional units to that property as well. So that's the project that they're proposing this upcoming year. And this is just an act of good faith on the village's part.
Okay.
This is Evie. I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the reservation of $1 million from fiscal year 2020 budget for affordable housing.
Jackson, second.
Okay, no further discussion. Roll call, please, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Counselor Eby,
Aye.
Counselor Jackson,
Aye.
Counselor Cornelius,
Aye.
Counselor Coughlin,
Aye.
Counselor Salas,
Aye.
Counselor Letterman.
Aye.
All right. Now then, that concludes our regular items. Now we'll move into closed session. So I'll need a motion to move into closed session, please.
Mr. Mayor, Jackson, I move that we move into closed session with discussion subject to the attorney-client privilege pertaining to threatened or pending litigation in which the village of Derosa is or may become a participant, statute 1015-1H7, New Mexico Statutory Authority, 1978.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please, ma'am. Who was the second?
Evie.
Evie.
Thank you. Counselor Jackson,
Aye.
Counselor Eby,
Aye.
Counselor Letterman,
Aye.
Counselor Salas,
Aye.
Counselor Coughlin,
Aye.
Counselor Cornelius.
Aye.
Mayor, and if Eric can stay on.
Okay, Eric, would you stay on, please, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.